you going? Okay, we're going. So I was being dumb for a second. You know, I've been thinking, these intros always get super awkward. Not just because I wait a little bit to make sure everything runs first before I say anything, but Dunsparce in particular makes it even more awkward because there's nothing. There's no in-game audio right now. At least not enough for it to be picked up to any meaningful extent on the capture card. When it rains, it's a little something because you hear the sound of the raindrops hitting the ramp and the rocks. But when it's just this, it's honestly just a bit awkward and quiet. And I get it; it's supposed to be like eerie tension building. This is the end game. You gotta go in the door to the final area. Yada yada yada. But like, man, after that point, it just feels so off. Anyway, here I am again. And last time we only got 2 Dunsparces, but we got a Glamora as well. So my luck, I guess, balanced out enough. It was just awkward. It was just weird. This time, I'm hoping to get more than 2 Dunsparces. Once again, I'll do 3 sandwiches and we'll go from there. Because it kind of depends on how things go. And I did say last time I would look for the Pokedex and determine like what Pokemon I think could get Mega Evolutions in Legends ZA. And I'm probably wrong. There's over 1,000 of these things now, and even though I can easily knock off like a 200-300, you never know. And realistically, it's a lot more than that because they're not going to put in, like, the base forms as Megas. They're going to be fully evolved anyway. A couple sweet. So, realistically, the number's actually a lot smaller, but... you never really know. A Mega Evolution could end up being sort of a divergent thing. They probably wouldn't do that, but, you know, it'd be funny. And I bet people would be absolutely screaming about it. Put those peppers on there. Red goes away. Put that there. And have just clipped through everything, because that's just how picks work in this game, I guess. I've never gotten over that. So I've made a list of a bunch of Pokemon that I think could get Mega Evolutions. I double-checked to make sure that there were no Gigantamaxes and that they didn't already have Megas. I think a few of them have fan designs and, you know. So I'm gonna wait a little bit before I go over those. I have selected like 10 or so I know more are gonna be added because the way Vix was talking, there's probably going to be around, like, the mid-20s for new Megas. So, I'm not trying to predict every single possible new Mega Evolution. There's no way. But, you know, I figure I'd get, like, a nice chunk. I'd probably, with my current guesses as to what I could, to what they would add with Mega Evolutions, I'm probably gonna get like 2 of them. Cause I don't really know what they're thinking with some of these, and you know, I'm not good at finding patterns in these sorts of things, really. So I'm gonna focus on Dunsparce for a little bit here while we wait for people to show up. I was nowhere close to you. What was that? What was that, game? The hitboxes, man, with the Dunsparce are just off. Awful. Anyway. I'm hoping I can make this stream interesting enough to where it's not going to be me effectively stalling, I guess, for 2 hours. Because, like, that's the problem with how I usually do Dudunsparce. I usually do 2 a week if I do the filler stuff. And, you know, if I need just one thing for filler, like, one day is fine. If it's 2 in a row, it gets a little awkward. Because the first day, I go as every single time, and it's an effective stall tactic, if you haven't noticed. But, like, the first day of the 2 usually goes pretty strong, because I have a lot to talk about. It's been about a week. That's usually how it goes. I can just fill you in on current things that are happening, especially when it's major stuff, like the announcement that Silksong finally got a release date. And now a whole bunch of other indie games are like, yeah, we're gonna move our releases back because we want to make sure you guys can play Silksong. And plus, we'll be playing it ourselves. So, yeah, you could tell that Silksong completely shook up everything when it came to the indie game scene, just from the fact that it exists now. And that it surprisingly, despite being in development for so long, wasn't in development hell. They just wanted to add more shit to it, and we're having fun and vibing the whole time, and it's like, sweet. So, probably good to be peak. But as someone who really hasn't played the original Hollow Knight at all, I can't really say I have as much hype as everyone else. I'm really just more hyped in the sense that this joke has been going on for 7 years. And the saga's finally ending. So, you know. I'm just more like a spectator as it all goes down, and, you know, I'm happy for you guys. I've witnessed a lot of things like that happen. And honestly, the way it's going for Silksong is better than a lot of the times I've seen it happen. It's like, you know, at least you know your game's gonna be freaking quality when it comes out, and at least it feels more justified that it took that long. You know? And I'm willing to bet because of all of the press from how long it took for it to even show up half the time, I'm willing that it'll probably sell pretty well, and we'll get a third one! We'll get another Hollow Knight game. So, you know, I expect good things. I expect good things. So, besides that, we've reached the day 2 of a week, where it's like, okay, it's been less than 24 hours. Nothing has really changed for the most part. I could probably sum it all up within the span of 10 to 15 minutes. And look where we are. We're 10 minutes in, roughly. Huh, that's funny. And then it just becomes me just either quiet, because I can't think of anything, I'm trying to focus on the game, or I just go rambling on like this, trying to stall, because having this empty space is awkward. And then it goes to me complaining about how I don't know how people do this fucking constantly. They make an entire living out of shiny hunting, I guess. And just like, doesn't that get agonizing? Like, when I do it, I do this for like 2 days out of a week, 4 total hours, and then I'm just done. I just stop, and that's it. And I move on for a while. I don't touch it for a month. Sometimes even longer. So, you know, it's been a bit. And realistically, I could do things to speed this up without necessarily burning myself out on it. Like, realistically, I could have this be the Thursday thing. and then Friday be the actual main event. And sure, that would work and all, but that would mean that the main event, quote unquote, the main game I'd be currently streaming, which next week will be Oracle of Seasons. That means that takes twice as long. And then I have that full week-long Rust as well. So, every time. So there's a trade-off to it. I think I tried doing like a half-and-half system for a bit. Or like I did 2 different games at once, and honestly, I'd rather not do that again. I'd rather have some kind of focus, you know? I'd rather have some kind of focus. And that could be a little difficult sometimes. That can be a little difficult when, you know, you don't have the latest console. No new games are really coming out that you're necessarily super interested in, or at the very least, you're fine with waiting a while. Because, like, maybe I'll pick it up at some point. Not right away, though. I have other stuff. It's fine. And then it's like, uh-oh. I guess I have like the whole NES, SNES, Game Boy Color library stuff on NSO, and I'm willing to upgrade for GameCube stuff when I get a Switch too. But that's gonna be it. But I'm not gonna upgrade right away. So, you know, it's gonna be a little while before I get N64 stuff even. So that's gonna be a while. And when that happens, I'll definitely play more GBA stuff. I definitely will. So the GBA, man, the GBA was my childhood. First gaming console right there. So I have a lot of memories with it. I remember it fondly. I remember taking the battery cover off of it and sticking it in the toaster to see what would happen. And it melted just enough so that way it didn't quite lose its shape, but it wouldn't stick in the battery slot anymore. It had to be stuck on with tape. Whether it be those old Walmart stickers that they used to have with the big smiley faces, or Dad would just get electrical tape out from the drawer and stick that on instead. There was one time I think I was trying to replicate a Game Boy Advance commercial, where I think it ended with a Game Boy Advance floating on like a little inner tube in a pool. I tried recreating that, and the Game Boy Advance slipped into the pool. We had to dry it out with salt or rice or something for a while. That was a time. I think that may have been before the battery cover. So, needless to say, it wasn't. I wasn't the smartest. I wasn't the smartest. I did not understand how, like, a lot of that was just set up by professionals, and you know, maybe the screen stuff wasn't really raggy. It wasn't really there. It was all like superimposed screen stuff. The Game Boy Advance was probably off. It's like, okay. But then again, I also saw a commercial back, I'm gonna say, probably close to 20 years ago by now. I forget what it was advertising, but I remember I saw it when I was at my grandma's and they were watching Bold and the Beautiful or Young and the Restless or some shit, some soap opera on CBS, and there's a commercial about this person who just walks off a balcony and they're like walking across to another balcony and they're just floating. Like gravity is just off. I was like, wait, we could do that? Because I had no concept of special effects! Hey! First Dudunsparce of the day! All it took was talking about weird commercials from like 20 years ago. Yeah, quick ball, because that actually was surprisingly quick by comparison to last time. We'll take it. But yeah, long story short, I do still have plenty of material to go through. That's why there was like a whole segment at the end of one of the streams where I'm like, what am I gonna stream next? Because I finished up a game or I finished up something really quickly and didn't want to go into a new game. So I just loaded up NSO and looked through it, and that was like solid like half an hour. it was a good time just going to the library. I wish there was music. Like, I might understand there not being music for the home menu because you have to worry about like, boot times and everything. Like, fine, it's disappointing, but sure. But we're talking about a standalone application where you can load games from various consoles, and you're telling me you're not gonna have some sort of background? You're not gonna put some background track behind that? Like something chill, like around the same like style as the Wii Shop channel or something? It's like something that kind of relaxing as you go to the game library and, you know? I also kind of wish all of the consoles were together in one thing. I understand why it's not, because if you don't want a certain console, you don't want to have to download literally everything when it updates and adds new games to the library, because that would be absolutely annoying and actually demolish your space. I get it. But, like, having a one-stop shop for everything would also be kind of nice, you know? And maybe you just click the games you want to play and it just installs them separately. I don't know. Have it be kind of like a Steam library thing, you know? You pick the games you want to play. That takes space on your that takes space on the hard drive, or the SSD, or whatever the hell we call the thing in the actual Switch itself, you know? But yeah, I still have plenty of games I can go through with that, but I've played some of them on the channel before. Like, I remember around the time I was playing through Return to Dreamland Deluxe, that was when I got the notification that, hey, they added the Game Boy Mega Man games to NSO. And I played through all 5 of those over the course of 3 streams, and it was mostly alright. I think 4 is my favorite. Which is weird, because everyone loves 5, because it's like the fully original one. Much bigger scope, but I don't know, I just can't get used to the Mega Arm. So, I think I just prefer Game Boy 4 out of the set. So, yeah. It was overall mostly a good time, though. I'd love to do more stuff like that. And there's plenty of games on there. They're still adding more eventually. And honestly, I wouldn't... You know what? We were talking yesterday about, like, what are you gonna do if you end Dudunsparce? What are you gonna do for filler? Because, like, I already mentioned, I'm not doing tandem mouse like this, because you think it's bad enough doing this? Imagine this with a Pokemon you can barely see because it's tiny. And on top of that, the shiny is barely any different. It turns the light blue into a tan on a super tiny Pokemon. You have to actively squint in order to see it because the game doesn't notify you that one spawned. Legends Arceus, this is not. And I wish it was, because then maybe I'd actually do it. Like, if I ever do that one in my own time, that's gonna be eggs. And I'm gonna have to slowly suffer through that, because it's gonna be tedious. So I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm doing this one because Dunsparce is goofy, and the fact that they gave it an evolution like this is really goofy. I like it when Pokemon does the goofy stuff. So, like, you know, like, I'm a fan of cool Pokemon and everything, sure. Like, Excadrill is freaking amazing to me. Like, that right there. That's my Pokemon. That's my boy. But, like, I also find myself really enjoying when they just do something stupid and they don't take it entirely seriously. Like the new Megas with Dragonite and Victory Bell, where they're just kind of goofy. Dragonite gets giant wings on his head, and Victory Bell just becomes a giant bag of poison gas that's like tie itself shut with its stem, and it has like a stupid upside down smile. I love it. I love that shit, you know? I love it. It's like when they do stuff like this, of course I'm gonna love it. So I'm already taking more of a liking to the Dudunsparce over Mousehold. Because, like, this is just goofy. This is just so goofy. You know? I don't mind if it's more serious. But, like, it's also kind of cartoony, and I expect a certain level of cartooniness from a cartoon thing. It's kind of how it works. We're not going for realism in a game about catching crazy creatures in little portable devices that just happen to be shaped like balls. They could realistically be anything, but you know, you toss a ball at something, it's stuck inside, and then you use it in rock, paper, scissors deluxe. It's like, come on! Pokemon, from its essence, is just a really extended version of rock, paper, scissors. It's what it kind of is. And you thought rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock was funny. Ooh, let me tell you, what happens when you bring a fairy against ground? It's neutral, but it's a funny type matchup when you think about it, because like you have mythical creatures and then just the earth itself. Just a pile of dirt. I'm losing my mind. It's only been 20 minutes. You can tell how this is going. You can tell how this is going so far. But, long tangent aside, there's still plenty of things I can do, and I'm honestly thinking that if this runs out super quickly and I still need some filler, I can immediately go back to Donkey Kong Bonanza when I get my hands on that after I get done with my main playthrough, because there's a 3D modeling mode. I just make stuff. And then in the same vein, something I can actually do right now is they added Mario Paint to NSO like a few weeks ago. It was a super big deal. And it runs on Switch 1 if you put a USB mouse in. So, like, I could just do that. I have a USB mouse. I could just draw shit in Mario Paint for stream. It's like extreme requests, and it'd just be kind of goofy, you know? Just me messing around. Like, there are things I can do for more filler once this is over. And of course, I'm wondering by the time this is properly over, Legends ZA will be out. And I'd probably just prefer shiny hunting in that, because it probably will do the shiny notification stuff. Speaking of shiny, hello. Number 2. Already off to a better start, by the way. So yeah. Mine. Easy catch. I win. So yeah, bright things ahead. Bright things for the future of my streams. It's gonna be fun. I've got stuff planned. I've got plans. I've got a plan. Alright, well. How close are we to the sandwich? About 10 minutes, okay, that makes sense. Stream's been going on around 20. Of course it's gonna be 10 more minutes of the first sandwich. This has actually gone by a bit faster than I thought it would. Maybe because I have a starting tangent. I was able to effectively stall for the first sandwich perfectly fine. Like nothing happened. What a miracle. Not to mention I've gotten good enough luck with shinies to where it's actually entertaining and not just going around in circles and doing nothing. And it sucks. I wish I could just do the method where you use the outbreak spawns, but they're always put in spaces where other normal types will spawn if there's a sandwich. And spawning, it's only in this like small area. I can't reset it very well. That's the problem. I'm not great with that kind of shiny hunt. It's all up to RNG whether or not it'll frickin' work, and just getting it in a good spot to begin with, because sometimes, I swear to God, it will spawn one, and then just nothing will happen. Maybe it spawns out underground, but I don't know how to navigate to the caves in this region. They're just kind of there. I have to stumble across them, and it's a pain. It's a freaking pain to deal with half the time, you know? So I would just rather not. And outside of that, it's eggs, and I guess I could do a poll about that, whether or not I should have like a set of eggs going in, but like, I don't know. I don't know. Just something to vaguely break up the monotony, you know? Even if eggs themselves are kind of monotonous to begin with, because I mean, that requires like an hour of setup. Probably even more so. Egg power level 2. I think it takes around half an hour to fill up 2 boxes. I gotta clear out all those boxes. I have a lot of stuff I can clear out. And then from there, you just basically sitting around and waiting for the sandwich to spawn eggs in the basket. Going through all that, mashing through because the basket will hold 10 eggs at once. And I don't like shiny hunting with eggs. I really don't. And plus, I don't think they're going to be boosted nearly as much as just using the sandwich and shiny charm. I don't think eggs are really boosted the same way. Like, yeah, Masuda exists, so I get the same kind of boost with that. And I do have a Japanese Ditto I use for this sort of thing, so it's not the worst. But with this, I can just avoid all the non-shiny ones like this. I see one, it looks blue, I can leave. With eggs, I have to sit through a whole hatching animation. Maybe I could skip it, but like, you still have to stop and have the egg spawn and everything. And then I gotta clear out the space from that if I get any shinies, and even though I still have to clear out the space anyway, because I'm gonna be saving prior to hatching the eggs anyway. Just so they're ready, because I'll probably do it before stream, like a day or two. So I'm just ready. So otherwise I'm just sitting there doing nothing for like a half hour. All I'm saying is that when I did the shiny hunt for Rowlet, back when the Mightiest mode, Mightiest Mark thing was out for that, that was just kind of tedious. I just didn't like doing it. It was just kind of there. So, And I guess at the same time, it's also, like, once I was done and I got Rowlet, I think I was hunting Flittle on the side. I never got that shiny. I still don't have that shiny. Maybe I'll go for it again at some point in my own time, just to say I got it. So, like, I don't know. Just kind of the problem with shiny hunting. It takes time. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, even with the boosts you get. I don't know. It could still be a bit much. Like, I can barely handle 2 hours of day. 2 hours of day. Dad of boy. I can barely handle like 2 hours of doing this before I'm just like, nope, I'm done. And there are people, I talk this every time, where they just go on and do this for like 12 hours at a time, and like usually have background music and a lot of people in chat. So I guess they're not, their insanity is like slower, I guess. Because like a lot more stuff is happening and it's a lot more entertaining, really, for everyone, and the whole community thing. And it's not me being ungrateful for having a small channel or anything. I'm not planning on making this a career. I'm not gonna make money off of this. I'm just doing this because I want to. It's a hobby more than anything. So, like, whatever. This is the thing I want to do. And because the thing I want to do, I'm really in control of if I want to do it or not. And I just struggle to do it a lot. There's a reason why I focus on playing other games. I'm not just doing this all the time, despite the fact I like getting the cool shinies and all that, you know? I have a limit. I really do. And kudos to anyone who can do this and make it a full-time thing. Like, cool for you, but I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not the kind of guy who can do that sort of thing. So, there you go. That's it. So whatever. So I like being more variety anyways. It means that there's more shit going on. There's less monotony overall. Hey, number 3! This is a good sandwich. I'll admit, I don't really branch out when it comes to games that often. I'm mostly a guy who plays platformers, and I'll play like adventure games like Zelda, or maybe try the occasional real-time strategy like Pikmin. And I tried. I really tried to play the Mario & Rabbids games. I just couldn't do it. I would always get brick-walled after the first couple chapters and just be stuck, and I never wanted to play it again. I tried both of them, and I have no problem saying they're good. Like, they're good games, sure, but I just cannot for the life of me play a game like that. I am so garbage at that sort of thing. But I got it. I got those games. Like, I like Mario. I like Rabbids. I tried the first one and got stuck, but maybe I'll have a better time the second go around. And I really didn't. I really didn't. I tried, okay? I tried. I just couldn't do it. I really don't think I'd have that much fun trying to stream it either. Because, like, then you'd see how rough it is for me. And I have no guarantee that you guys would know how to do it. Because, like, I don't know how many people have played, like, an XCOM style game that would come and watch my channel, you know? At least with Pokemon, it's the biggest franchise in the world, so like everyone's at least somewhat knowledgeable about Pokemon. There's proper discussion to be had, and it's all fun because we all know what we're doing. You play something like Mario & Rabbids where it's a lot less of an install base, and it's like, I guess it's nice to have like more pairs of eyes to look and make up for my shortcomings in the strategy field, but and how much do you want to bet that I don't know if I really get much help either from chat even. It's like that type of game's not as popular. Even with Mario on the cover. What I'm saying is I'd play it again if I had proper backseating. Because I cannot play strategy games apparently. Unless it's Pikmin. But Pikmin also mixes a lot more other weird Nintendo stuff in there. So like, even with its like day time limit stuff, it's still a lot more manageable for me. You know? I don't have to be, like, super methodical when it comes to planning out how to play Pikmin. Like, yeah, I can plan out my days and have general goals and everything, but, like, I'm not worried about enemies coming at me from all sides, trying to find specific cover, and I can only move a certain amount, and I have special skills I can use, and it's, like, a whole different ballpark. And I'm just not equipped for that kind of ballpark. They want me to play baseball, and I have a football helmet. Not even a football, just the helmet. It's like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what I'm doing. I had different expectations going in. But either way, yeah, it's not that I don't want to branch out and try new things, just that it's kind of hard to sometimes. And you get those moments where I was like, I want to try this thing that people seem to like, and then I end up hating it. Like, I thought Monkey Ball was some really fun thing, and people really like the games. And like, okay, I'm gonna get the new one when it comes out. Like around that point, I'm gonna play it. And oh god, I hated it. I just could not play it very well. I just could not. But I was just where it wasn't for me. But I bought. I have the game. I bought the game. The money is, I guess, kind of wasted. And I hate for that to be the case. You know? Because you gotta invest time and money in this sort of thing, and it can backfire. This is why I don't like trying new things. If I leave my comfort zone and take risks, it's just gonna go very poorly. I'll just play it safe and just play the new Mario. I'm only half joking, though. I'm only half joking. But, like, it's hard for me to branch out without really knowing that it's something I'd really enjoy, that I'd find worth it. If it would be worth it, you know? It's hard. You know? Anyway, we have 3 Dudunsparce here. I'm gonna guess for natures. Serious, jolly, and Avex. I'm doing nature guesses on my first 3 because I had a really lucky sandwich to start with. So, last one, the ever classic bold. Okay, relaxed, gentle, sassy. This was a mark. The uncommon mark is actually one of the more common ones. Ooh. Okay, let's get these moves on here. Glad to see you, though, Vix. And great timing, too, because I already mentioned that after I got my first sandwich done, I made that list of potential megas for, like, predictions. And I said that, like, I selected, like, around a dozen or so Pokemon. I know you said there'd be, like, the mid-20s in terms of number. Like, roughly that range. But, you know, I'm not gonna guess that many. I'm not going in boxes either. So I selected, like, nope. I selected at least one from all the possible generations you gave me. Most of them I did 2 or 3. But what does serious Dudunsparce like to be around? I don't know. Kinda just the all-rounder, I guess. he takes things seriously. He's focused, I guess. But he doesn't really excel at anything. He does his best. He does his best. He really tries, though. Anyway. 51. 2 segment. Fair enough. Number 2. I'm making sure I turn to the side so I can tell at a glance, like, ooh, 3 segment, you know? Can't do that when it teleports to another dimension. Another 2 segment. Mark that one down. And then one more rare candy on the last one. Number 53. It's like a pet. Like a pet proper. I never really thought about that. Like a giant bug that's not really a bug. So, like, do we put this thing in, like a terrarium or something? Then how's it going to behave? Will it try to break out? That's the real question. Will it try to drill out of anything I try to put it in? I never think about the pet aspect when it comes to Pokemon. That's kind of on me. Really? Like, I understand they all have personalities and everything, but, you know. When it comes to Pokemon like Dunsparce, it's hard to tell. Because, like, there are plenty of Pokemon that are, like, very clearly capable of being general pets. I wouldn't say Dunsparce is really one of them. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but, you know, gonna save my game here. So long story short, I don't really have an answer. I don't even know what Dunsparce is supposed to be based off of, so I have no, like, background on what this is supposed to be. Different Pokemon and, like, what would different natured Pokemon like to be around? I mean, some of them I think would be easy to tell. Like, timid and bashful, they kind of, like, try to hide. With Sirius, though, I guess they'd be the more determined ones. Like, if there's some sort of thing they want, they'll just not give up when it comes to actually trying to get it. Like, let's say, Pokemon wants to eat a leaf and it's super high up or something. They will just spend the entire day trying to climb the tree or something. They won't just give up immediately and move on and try to find food somewhere else. They will just try and focus on that leaf for no reason. It's of a Japanese myth. I know, like, nothing about Japanese myths, so I don't know how any of that ties together with Dudunsparce at all. Anyway, I got my list. So, I'm going to make a second sandwich. And I'm going to go through them. So I've selected, I'm going to count them real quick. 15. Imagine a timid Garchomp. It looks super fierce, and then it's just like... maybe I shouldn't do this. I'm just... You guys go have fun. You guys Just like... they really don't do anything with the personalities of the different natures when it comes to Pokemon. They all kind of blend together. It's just flavor text, really. I kind of wish they'd do more with it besides just gameplay, but that would require effort. Calling you out. More prominent probably in the anime and stuff because you can probably write around that sort of thing. But for gameplay, having to mess around with that and add those extra details, like, it's not going to be as free, I guess. Interactive stuff would probably be a bit more awkward with that. So I get it. Anyway, just double checking, you said that Generations 3 and 9 are not getting new Megas. Because Gen 3 got plenty with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. And then Gen 9 is too new. They don't really need a revamp quite yet. Has the power to kick your ass, but hides in a corner. Yep. But, for my list, I only have one for Gen 1. It's one I keep thinking has a Mega, but it doesn't. And I'm kind of surprised. Jinx. I keep thinking in my head that Jinx has a Mega. And I think it's because I've seen a lot of fan designs for it. And I just can't get it out of my head that's not a thing. So, like... I don't know. And it's going to be a pattern that's throughout my list. There are not very many Ice-type Mega Evolutions. There's only 2 right now. Glalie and Abomasnow. That's it. Unless there's one I'm forgetting, that's it. So I'm figuring they probably want to do at least one more ice type, you know? Probably guaranteed. I don't know why I didn't ride Miranda until now. I guess we're just kind of focused on other things. Jinx was going to get one, but was cut. Okay. That's probably why I kept thinking about it. They had plans for it. Well then, though, if they had plans for it, they were probably still thinking about it as well. We'll probably get that one. I can see that one getting a proper mega, because I feel like Jinx kind of needs something. Like, it got a baby in Gen 2, and then it's been largely ignored. What is up with the shadow here? I've never noticed this. What is up with the shadow? I'm just gonna go. Look, I always expected you to get like a regional form or a mega or something, but it hasn't gotten anything yet, I guess. I don't think it got a Gigantamax. I don't think I saw it there. I mean, I understand the design would probably be the main reason why I wouldn't, but they already altered the design to fix that. So, like, it's not like it's gonna spark that much controversy now. And any controversy there is would be absolutely forced and unnecessary. Like how PETA is currently getting upset about the cow from Mario Kart World having a nose ring. Because that's happening, I guess, and no one takes them seriously. I think at this point it probably should do the same kind of thing with Jinx. And honestly, at this point, I feel like it kind of needs something. It's been that long. It's not that it's forgettable, per se, but, like, now I think is a good time for it to get some sort of revamp or extra thing. You know? Also, I think you might be behind a little bit with stream delay. but by a little bit, I think. That happens sometimes with you. I don't quite get it. I don't know if it's a problem on my end or your end, or it's just YouTube being silly. As it tends to be. You guys have up? Okay. Wait, another... Okay, yeah, okay. I did not look much into, like, the major leaks when that whole thing happened. I remember everyone losing their minds about a lot of the beta designs, the placeholder stuff, because, like, Garchomp looks so stupid. Like, it was not fine. It was very clearly, like, a beta testing asset, really. It looked like it was just drawn in MS Paint in, like, a minute. It was never meant to be final, but everyone was losing their shit because it was funny. And that's, like, the only thing I can remember from that. 15 seconds, okay. But yeah, I don't really pay attention much to leaks. Mainly because I think it kind of spoils the fun a little bit. I did, like, follow Pyoro back when that whole thing was going on. But with Pyoro, at least he wasn't super direct about the stuff he was leaking. He would like, have cryptic clues. It would become like a guessing game. It wasn't outright what the answer was unless you just happened to guess it, you know? So, like, it was fun, and then he ruined it. And then you don't see him anymore. And, I guess it makes the whole surprise a lot more fun. But, you know, I kind of miss the guessing games, you know? Most people, when leaks happen, it's just super blatant, and I'm like, I just gotta avoid all this and hope for the best. Hope no one else talks about it. Gotta block all the words. Gotta mute all the words on Twitter, hope for the best. But yeah, I don't really pay attention much to leaks outside of the stuff that people, like, laugh about. mainly because like past material. When it comes to like new stuff happening, like that's the point where I'm just not paying attention. But again, except for if there's like a major guessing game with like Pyoro. But that I feel like is a different type of thing, you know? I feel like it's like a different scenario. Mainly because usually he would have his hint, I'd make a guess, and I would just be wrong. So, like, I would still get a surprise out of it. Then come to the realization of, oh, that's what he was talking about. There was still some fun in there. I don't know, I feel like it's different. Mega Jig's had a full design, even a cry. Ooh, so they might just straight up bring that fully in now. That's cool. So I think Jinx actually does have a legitimate chance. I know some people are probably going to complain like, oh, Gen 1, it's Gen 1 stuff again. But at least it's Gen 1 Pokemon that haven't really had much, you know? It's like, Victreebel kind of needed something. Victreebel kind of needed something. Leading in with Dragonite was a good choice because it's like it's a pseudo-legendary. It's a big deal. And at least it's not the same, like, small set of Gen 1. It's not Charizard again. It's not Pikachu again. It's not Snorlax or Eevee or any of that stuff again. Because most of those are already covered or are not eligible for Megas to begin with. they can get more unique with it now. And going for other Gen 1 Pokemon that really no one really talks about or haven't really been relevant at all, that's nice. I think that's nice. I'm sick of the yellow rat. I just want some other Pokemon from Gen 1 to get some love. Like I saw someone bringing up Starmie as being a potential Mega that we could see. And I'd love to see that too. I didn't predict it, but, you know. We ain't getting Charizard Z. I figured as much. We already have 2 Charizard Mega Evolutions. We don't need a 3rd one. We don't need another one. Like, because a lot of the overdone Gen 1 Pokemon have their stuff already, then that means if they want to bring in more stuff from Gen 1, it has to be the stuff they kind of left behind. You know? And that's why I'm still going to be happy when they do stuff like Paldean and Tauros. You know? It's like, even though Tauros is known because Ash caught a whole shit ton of them, like, it wasn't really too relevant outside of that. Giving it a regional form was great. Technically, it was 3 regional forms, because there were 3 separate forms that it could have. All with different type combos. It was crazy. They didn't have to do that, but they did. And I appreciate that. It's not the same nostalgia pandering stuff where it's like, you want to see Charizard get more love again for the 50th time? Ooh. He's so cool, isn't he? And don't get me wrong, Charizard's a good Pokemon and everything, but man, it gets so overdone. Yeah, he only called him the Japanese version because the episode got skipped over by 4 kids. It's just referenced a few times in the English dub. It's like, he just has a bunch of Tauros, I guess. It's like, where'd you get those? They just don't talk about it. They don't talk about how he got them, he just has them now. 4 kids, man. That whole that company was so I was actually rewatching. I actually was rewatching the Gen 1 anime a few years back when Pokemon TV was an actual like app on Switch. And there's one point where it's like, this is the point where we see Charmander evolve into Charmeleon, And the next episode, it's back to being a Charmander again because they aired him out of order and they never fixed it. That's the kind of stuff I'm used to with the dubs from that damn company. Do we need to talk about how messed up Kirby Right Back At's order was? That was a whole mess in of itself. And then there's all the awkward censorship because, well, we can't show rice balls. We gotta call them jelly-filled donuts, and then people mock them till the end of time for it. To the point where I think even the Pokemon company is just joining in on the joke now because they know it's stupid. They know it's stupid. That stuff really wouldn't fly nowadays. It doesn't really fly now. There's a reason that whenever people bring up those dubs, it's always out of a sense of either memeing them or mocking them, or it's just a joke. No one takes them seriously. Hot dog, taco, hamburger. You only got 3 things on this menu. But yeah, it was awkward, definitely. It was definitely awkward. But back to the topic at hand. I like it when they bring back Pokemon that really weren't super relevant. It's not a constant rehash of a lot of the same stuff over and over and over and over again. It's the same problem I still have with Sonic, where they constantly shove in Green Hill, Chemical Plant, Sky Sanctuary, and everything. We get it. Sonic Generations exists, and you love the Genesis games. But god damn, can you please do something else? They brought back Green Hill Zone for Pac-Man World 2 Repack. That collab thing. And Green Hills is the only one announced. There's 3 zones that are going to be in it. I wonder what the other 2 will be. Especially when Green Hill's level design looks ripped straight from Generations. It's dumb, okay? Like, I'm fine with going back to old material and referencing that. I'm fine with that. But oh my god, if you lean so hard into it, especially like this very specific thing, just be like, hey look, it's that thing you like. Ooh. It just becomes jingling keys at a point, you know? Even if the thing is good, it just comes off wrong. You know? Like, I can't be hyped about that sort of thing as much because, like, I've seen this already. Do something different. Get some new material! So, like, it can be awkward. If you go back to your past and, like, you bring something back that was, like no one really talks about, or, like, a little detail that people often forget, like, there you go. It's fine. I never thought for the life of me they'd bring back the fake Chaos Emerald that Tails made in Sonic Adventure 2. Then they brought it back in Shadow Generations, and that's, you know, somewhat plot relevant. It's like, okay, sure. That's the kind of shit I like. You gotta put a little bit more effort into it besides, remember this? It's that thing that was really cool like 30 years ago. you gotta put a little bit more effort into it. And that's when it gets fun. That's when it gets fun. Can I say how much Jones parodied this time? Yeah, I bring up Charizard because it happened so damn much with him specifically. So we got 2 Mega Forms for it, and then I had a Gigantamax in Gen 8 on top of that. Not to mention all of the merch and all that sort of stuff, and it's too much to list with Charizard alone. Pikachu I kinda get because he kinda became the mascot of the whole franchise, especially thanks to the anime. But even then, a lot of that feels forced after a while, because Pikachu ain't even that good. They've definitely slowed down a lot more with it. I think it's because people were just getting sick of it, and they said, okay, let's move on. Let's do something a little different now. They still bring them back, but they're not going super crazy with it anymore. It's more of like a semi-sideline thing. It's not the main focus. And plus, Pikachu isn't really as much of the mascot anymore because the whole Ash thing's done. So, like, well, Pikachu's not as relevant now. No, don't get me wrong, it's still relevant, but, like, you know, I think they were just kind of done. And I'm fine with that. There's a difference between pandering and, like, a callback or something, you know? Like, you're actually putting in a little bit of effort to bring back something versus just, it's that thing, and it's always the super memorable things that everyone remembers because, like, it's the thing from the box. It's a thing from the box art. Ooh. You know? I feel like there's a difference in mentality, you know? Like, well, let's go back to Sonic. I'd be happy if they brought back Starlight Zone, but I'm sick of Green Hill. You know? Like that feels like the difference. When something gets brought back or referenced so much that it becomes overplayed, that's when it just goes to pandering, that's when it gets tiring. And usually, it's the stuff that happens really early on they fixate on with that. Because not everyone got super far in. Some people stopped fairly early on. So in order to get the largest demographic, you gotta focus on that thing that everyone's witnessed. And to an extent, I get it. But a lot of times, if you're not careful, which these companies usually aren't, you can take it way too far and then just burn everyone out on it and they never want to see it again. There was a whole discussion on Twitter where the game apologist was like, when was the last time we had a Sonic game where there was no Green Hill at all? And I think, like, ultimately it came to a conclusion where the last one that didn't, the most recent Sonic game that didn't have Green Hill at any extent was Sonic Colors DS. It's been over a decade. That's how you know things have gone wrong. I'm sick of Green Hill. I'm sick of it, man. It's always either Green Hill by itself or it's the Generation Genesis trio. And they don't update the art at all. It all looks the fucking same as it did in Generation. Ah! Are surprised they've only showed Gen 1 so far? The super majority from other gens. Well, I feel like Gen 1, like, even then, there's a little bit of that Gen 1 type mentality, but at least they're going with Pokemon that, like, either could use a little something or just literally have not been relevant to any extent since then. It's like Victory Bell, man. That was a good pick. It honestly kind of needed something. And Omega was great. That was the perfect opportunity. Shiny. So yeah. Anyway, that's Gen 1 covered. I've only done one Pokemon so far. I have like 15 on this list. And most of them probably aren't even realistically viable. I just chose them because I thought it'd be funny. Like, for Gen 2, I put down Slowking. Because we have Mega Slowbro, I think. But Slowking never got anything. I think that was Gen 2, right? I find it kind of weird because, like, it's not like the different diverging evolutions that span multiple generations. It's not like they don't do that. Because Gardevoir and Gallade both got Megas. But, like, they have other Pokemon that have these divergent evolutions, and only one of them has the Mega. It's like only Glalie can Mega Evolve, but Frostlass can't. And that's kind of bugged me. I never quite understood it. With the exception of Dragonite, all the Megas and Kantos fit that sort of thing. Ooh. And of course I wanted to show off Dragonite first, because that's going to be the really big notable one. As long as they aren't, like, hyper-focused and trying to do that, like, that sort of thing, I guess. Especially because a lot of the typical pandering heavy hitters are already done. So, like, there you go. So yeah. I would think that Slowking might get something. Just kind of weird that one evolution gets the Mega, and the other one just doesn't. Pokemon you kind of forget about. Well, I can also kind of cross off Skarmory from the list then, but I put Skarmory on here as well. It's not forgettable, but I feel like it kind of, not like it needs something per se, but it definitely does get outclassed. You know? That might just be an opinion I have. Maybe there's more to that, I'm not saying, but I don't know. That one is more of like a me feeling. Not to mention, like, I didn't count how many Steel Megas do we have? Because we have Mawile. I can't remember anymore. So it's a type that's not really covered much with Mega Evolution, so I figured that would be a decent pick. You know? Steelix, right. Steelix as well. Is that kind of it, though? Like, I feel like Steel's one of the smaller types when it comes to Megas. Kind of like Ice. So I feel like they kind of want to not necessarily make up for it, but, you know, a bit more type diversity, you know? I feel like they kind of want to try that sort of thing. Not like there's going to be plenty of Megas that have repeat typings. Like, Victory Bell's probably going to have... Like, if they didn't reveal it already, I'm going to assume it has Grass Poison still, like Venusaur. So, repeating types is not really a concern. It's just that I figured there'd be some type diversity in there as well. Especially for types that are a bit... not lesser or forgotten per se, but, like, maybe a bit overlooked when it comes to this. Or otherwise, like, even if it's types they have covered, the type combo is at least unique, so they could do something different with it. And don't get me wrong, like, I tried to kind of account for that sort of thing. I'm not confident in most of my picks. That's why I think that whenever, like, I made these guesses, I'm only confident in, like, 2 of them. Because I don't... Like, a lot of the ones I picked are either just because of, like, okay, there needs to be more of this type. Or, it would just be funny. You know? There are a couple on here that I just put down just for laughs. You know? Or a just because type thing. Aggron Sizzle. Oh, wow, there's more than I thought. Why do I think Steel was so overlooked? I guess I kind of forgot Aggron got one. Scizor I always think of more as a bug, even though it does get Steel. And Lucario I always think of more as fighting. I always forget that's part steel. That's on me. But even then, like, wouldn't steel flying also be a new type for a Mega? Because we have rock steel, steel fairy. I think Steelix is that also rock, or is that ground? Since there's bug steel, Lucario's fighting steel, so flying steel would be unique. So I think there'd still be some justification. So that might just be me though. Yeah, it would be. Yeah. So there's still some merit in choosing it. Oh my god, it would not let me glide. I only got down here. Haven't gone to this part in a second. Gotta go back. That was awkward. I tried to go around because there are a bunch of like Dudunsparce in the way, and I try to jump over and I bonk off I bonk off a Dudunsparce and just fall. Anyway. Oh, that's a sandwich. 3 minutes? Wow, I talked to this one. This one went by fast. Okay. Now we're going into Gen 4. And these are ones I'm not really confident in. They're just kind of here, mostly. Mainly because I didn't know what else to really put in. You know? This is the one I actually kind of struggled with. For one, I put Toxicroak in here. I'm not sure I'd say it's a forgettable Pokemon. I just never really think about it too much. Shiny. Right at the end. It's also one I know it's part poison. And we have that covered quite a bit with Venusaur now, Victory Bell. Probably some others I'm also forgetting. But isn't it also part fighting? Do we have a poison fighting Mega yet? I don't remember. I don't have all of the Megas memorized, as you can tell. I forgot like most of the steel ones. Go me. Yeah, I was thinking more of like type diversity in that sort of range. Like, yeah, repeats will happen, but I figured, like, you know, kind of fill in some of those gaps. We're so close to the end of the sandwich. I'm gonna focus on this a bit more. I put Frostlass in. I mentioned that for the same reason as a Slow King. One evolution gets a Mega, the other one doesn't. And Frostlass, I think, is Ice Ghost, which would be unique, because there's only Ice and Ice Grass so far. Ice was definitely very much overlooked. We don't have a Poison Fighting Mega. Okay, I was right about that, at least. Unique typings. Make them a little bit more special, you know? I don't want a Pokemon to get a Mega and then gets immediately overshadowed. Victory Bell kinda is in that boat, in a way, but, you know, it's just so goofy and unexpected, and like, it's Victory Bell, it kinda is something. A lot of these, I feel like it just needs more, like, type diversity in order to stand out. Especially if it's Pokemon that people generally forget about, you know? The ones that are kinda just left behind, I guess. So I just kinda figured we'll try to go for something a bit more different with typing. And oddly enough, I put Yanmega just because Mega Yanmega sounds funny. There's a little bit of that too, because like we also have we have Dragonite for Dragonite now. So like we have that. We're probably gonna get Mega Meganium, which is also funny. So Mega Yanmega would also just be that kind of funny type of name. It just kind of comes out of happenstance. And plus, like, I know we do have bug ones, Beedrill immediately comes to mind. But nothing wrong with another one. And I'm trying to think, what bugs do we have as megas? We have Beedrill. Even we have Heracross, Regiment of Scizor, we have Pinsir. Were there any others? I feel like I'm forgetting one. Yeah, I just thought Yanmega would be funny just because, just because of the name. So I put it on the list just because. Gen 5 is where things got a bit more on the unlikely side for me. I put Whimsicott on here. Mainly because I think it'd be kind of funny to see a design where it Mega Evolves and like the fluff on it just goes absolutely insane. It just spirals out of control. And plus, I think Whimsicott is Grass Fairy. And I don't think that's been covered yet. Again, type diversity. You gotta keep thinking about that. I put down just for fun. I also put down Vanillux. I don't expect Vanillux to get picked. Altaria too. But I don't expect Vanillux to actually reasonably get picked. I really don't. But I just think it'd be kind of funny if it Mega Evolved and it got a third head. But it's not a real third head, it's like a fake one. It kind of like looks slapped together, kind of. Because I found it kind of weird that when it fully evolves, it stops at 2 heads. You'd think it would go for the triple scoop, but it doesn't. That's personally bugged me, and I don't know why. It's a full 3. It's a small ice cream cone, a big ice cream cone, and then a double scoop. Like, that sounds fine. Like, I don't know. It just feels kind of where they stopped with the 2 heads. Especially because it's not like it's stacked on top. They're not stacked on top of each other like you normally see on an ice cream. They're side by side. So it feels like there'd be a third one on top, right? Is that just me? Is that just me? I feel like I'm losing my mind here. I know we already have pure ice covered with the Glalie, but repeats are not completely off the table. Do we need to bring up the first 2 we've seen have been repeats, I think? Victory Bell is, because Grass Poison's already done with Venusaur. And assuming Dragonite is still Dragon Flying, which it probably will be, I'm pretty sure we have a Dragon Flying one covered. I think it's Altaria, right? Isn't, because that got Dragon, didn't it? Because it got normal. It was normal flying when it was Swablu. It evolves. I think that's when it gets Dragon. Over normal, and then I don't think the type changes when it Megas. I don't remember though. I don't remember at all. That's on me. But also, if you want more dragons, I guess we could put in Haxorus maybe. I don't know. I was thinking like, they might add another dragon or so, and maybe Haxorus isn't the best one, but you know, something. Plus, I would kind of want to see what they do with the shiny with it, if they do Mega Evolve it. Because like I remember, because like the Garchomp line stands out to me because like Gibbles was really good. Gabite kind of a little bit less so than Gibbles. It stands out less than Gibbles, but definitely still does. Garchomp barely changes, and then when it Mega Evolves, it becomes like this like magenta pink color that doesn't fit the rest of the line at all, but it stands out and it's funny. And I kind of want to see what they do with the Haxorus line, because Axew kind of becomes like this weird yellowish green, I think. Like the purple thing around its neck. I know Haxorus is like completely black, except for like a red accent. I forget what the metal evolution looks like. I think it might be another repeat of X2. I don't remember. But I want to see where they take the shiny when they does get one. Some people are guessing Mega Dragonite is Dragon Fairy. I don't think so. I don't see it happening. The change in typing, I think, would be nice. But I don't see it happening personally. Because the whole thing, like, isn't its design noticeably based off, like Hermes or Icarus or something? Very blatantly flying. It has giant feathery wings on its head. You think that thing wouldn't still be flying type? I don't think the type's gonna change for Dragonite. Call me crazy, but I don't think they're gonna change it. I forgot to put the moves on. What am I doing? I'm losing my mind. Okay. Nature guesses. Let's go with Adamant and Adamant and Bold. Let's go basic. Rash. Bold! I got Bold! Let's go! I got Bold! Nice. I can get him sometimes. I can get him sometimes. Okay. Wow. Put the moves on and then level them up and not be completely stupid about it this time. What a waste of a single rare candy. Ooh, such a waste. Alright, evolving. Two segment. Expected. And then we go for the other one. That makes 55. That's fair. I'm not expecting to get it so early. That's the thing. That's why I'm not like, oh. I'm not super disappointed because I know it's going to be a while. My luck is not that good. I can occasionally guess natures. I cannot guess what I'm going to get this thing. Next on my list, we have Gen 6. I chose two that I don't realistically think are gonna get one. I really don't. The game just froze. There we go. That was weird. I chose two. One was Heliolisk, which I personally like solely because of TCG Pocket. It was really fun to use back when the game first came out. Not as much now, but like, it was definitely fun to use that in my early decks. It was great. And plus, I don't think they've really done anything with it. Have they? So I figured that'd be kind of nice to see get a little thing. And the other one, solely because I think how the Mega would work would be interesting, Florges. Because that one would have different Mega colors. It would also be the same Mega, but the color of the Mega itself would be based off the color it is whenever you catch it and all that. So it'd be like 5 different variants of it. They wouldn't play any different. They wouldn't be different typings. But they would just all look a little different. And I think that'd be funny. Dex entry is basically described as an angelic figure in a way. It goes out to save people, and Megas described uses power and fights soon as. Cause the least pain possible. It's mercy. It's mercy. It's being really merciful by just destroying you as fast as possible. Alright, Two Spices. So I figured, like, those two probably aren't super likely to get picked. Probably Heliolisk more than Florges. But I just figured Florges having a unique gimmick with this design would be interesting. And plus, Fairy for Florges. It still bugs me that it's fairy and not grass, even though it looks like flowers. It's bugged me for years. You tell a lot of these, a lot of Pokemon just kind of bug me a little bit. Can you tell? A lot of them just do. So, yeah. Again, that's kind of on me. I'm willing to bet a lot of people aren't the same way on that, but like, man, just me. Gen 7, similar region to Florges, I put Lycanroc on here because each Mega would be a different form. And I think there'd be like a bit of uniqueness when it comes to how a Mega would be handled. And I figured them being a bit experimental with it would be kind of interesting. Likelihood, probably not. Probably not. But I think it'd be interesting. It's like, we have Gigantamaxes that, like, change based on what Pokemon form you're in. Because, like, aren't there two different versions of Toxtricity and they both have separate Gigantamaxes? Can we have the same type of thing happen with Megas? I don't think that's happened yet. And honestly, partly because I didn't really know what else to really pick for this bit. For Gen 7, I also just put in Komo-o because another dragon would be kind of fine, I guess. And plus, dragon fighting, I think, is also unique for Megas? Unless there's one I'm forgetting. So there's that type diversity in there as well. Does he have a unique Floette? It does have a unique Floette. They'll probably let us actually finally get that one, because that one, I think, was shown off in Gen 6 originally. There's data for it, but I don't think you could actually get one. I think now we can actually finally get it, because I think it's been an icon in Pokemon Home for a while. Shiny immediately, by the way! I feel like with the relevance of that is there might be some opportunity of us getting like a Mega in that line. So maybe, maybe not. I just figured it'd be interesting just based off of the gimmick with the colors. And just me. I was tempted not to select it, but I wasn't really sure what to pick, honestly. I'm not great with predictions. It's a miracle I got as close as I did with Kirby Air Riders with the copy abilities, man. So, then we go to Gen 8. And I feel like I really phoned it in because I chose two different fighting types. I chose Phalanx and Graplocked. Just because. I can imagine Phalanx, a Mega form, would just be a huge army of them. Not just one, like, little squadron marching in a line. Like a full, like, army of them. Like on the pile of them. All on top of each other, just rushing in all at once. Like a full army. Now that'd be funny. And then Graplocked, I just keep forgetting about Graplocked, and I don't know why. I get it. I'm not super familiar with Gen 8 because I did not play Sword and Shield, and it's a newer Pokemon gen, so I'm a bit iffy on it. And honestly, full stop. I'm gonna say it. If Orbeetle didn't have a Gigantamax, I would have said that would have gotten the Mega. But you said there's no overlap, so it can't. So that one's out of the picture. So I'm like, here's what I constantly just kind of forget about. Graplock. One unique stat in a signature move specific to the form. Ooh. I did not know about the signature move. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. But yeah, for a lot of the predictions, I just had no real good ideas for what to pick, really. So I wanted to have some type diversity, and then there were some I just kind of forgot about that I figured, why not? Some overlap is okay. Look at Victory Bell. I know we have plenty of fighting types covered, but like, we can still add a couple more. Why not? Wow. And Fairy was a new type. That was Gen 6, so it was meant to be a big deal. That's fair. So like, I was gonna say like double edge, but that only hits one thing. I think it's gonna be a multi-target. What would be a multi-target with recoil? I'm not sure, actually. I'm not super familiar with a lot of Pokemon moves, so I don't know. Anyway, those are my guesses for Megas. A lot of them I don't expect. There's only like 2 I'm really confident even have a shot. But I figured that some of these would be kind of unique for Megas, or just add some extra type coverage that wasn't with the original set. Or sets. There's 2 of them. 2 different games with like a merged overall set. I get it. It's complicated. You get it. You get it. But without telling me which ones I guessed right, did I actually get any of the ones that were in the leaks? Don't say any names. I just want to know if I actually was able to predict any of them. With no knowledge going, and I want to see how well I generally did. I'm willing to bet I probably only got like 1 or 2. If any. I got a surprising amount. Really? Wow, okay. There are plenty I'm thinking, like, I definitely know for a fact it wouldn't be it. Like, there's no way in hell that Vanilluxe got one. Like, some of them I think were reasonable picks, you know? Especially Jinx. That's the one I felt the most dead set on. But don't tell me that one's in specifically, but I feel like that one is. Especially now you told me that it had a full-on design and cry and everything, and they just scrapped it, you know? It's already done. They can just put it in. But like, the fact that I was able to get an amount that surprised you just based on me just like 15 like kind of randomly picked ones, go for maybe some forgettable, some type coverage. There you go. Maybe if I put more thought into it, I could probably deduce another couple of them. Maybe fill out a proper set of like 20 something, but you know, I think I just kind of just stop here. I guess I can maybe do an honorary mention for Gen 5. I don't really know if there would be one that'd be picked. The Gothita line would get one, maybe. Whether it's pure psychic or they lean into the fact that I keep thinking it's part dark, they make it psychic dark. That one could be interesting, maybe. But I also just kind of just hate that line. Gothita especially, just something about that design just irks me. And I don't understand it. But yeah. Like, Final Evolution I think is like Gothitelle, so like Mega Gothitelle or something, but I don't know how likely that would be. That's why I feel it's more of an honorary thing. But yeah. Actually, wait a minute. Didn't that one have a Gigantamax? That was already ruled out anyway? Never mind. I forget which one. I don't remember which ones have Gigantamax off the top of my head. All I know is that the Gigantamax were very noticeably spread weird. Because you had a whole bunch from Gen 1, most of the common rehashes. You had a bunch of the new stuff from Gen 8 because they learned their lessons from Megas, I guess, in that regard. Then you have the like not event exclusive, but like it's a distribution exclusive Melmetal. And then just one randomly from Gen 5, Garbodor has one. Why can Garbodor Gigantamax? All the rest are from Gen 1 or 8 or it's Melmetal. Fucking Garbodor can Gigantamax. A Gen 5 Pokemon. He just randomly slapped in there. That's so weird. Last stream, there was a Pokemon you said you'd like to see that you'd be quite happy about. There was one I actually guessed back then that wasn't in my current set. And looking back, I forgot the ones I said back then. And I can't ask you to repeat it because that would spoil it. Uh-oh. And I don't want to go through the old stream again because I hate hearing the sound of my own voice. I don't even remember when I said it. So that would be coming through 2 hours of stream. That wouldn't be fun. That would be awful, actually. Don't think you can hide from me. I know it wasn't shiny, but come on. You poke out a little bit and then you're just gone. Get out of here. Why are they like this? I know there's like a... We can make up a lore reason. They dig. They can dig around. They just go in the walls, I guess, naturally. But it's a glitch. It's a thing where they can spawn in the walls because they did not properly program the spawning things. Every Pokemon has this issue. If they're near a wall, they can spawn in it, I guess. Referring to no Megas from Gen 8 had Gigantamax from Gen... Don't know if any Megas from other gens. Okay. So for Gen 8, no Gigantamax stuff. And even then, Gigantamax wouldn't rule out most gens because Gen 1, Gen 8, and then randomly Garbodor worked. For some reason. That still gets me. I was looking at the list of Gigantamax as a cross-reference, so I didn't accidentally check them. And Garbodor fucking stood out as like a weird oddball. So I think I know why I was thinking that Gothitelle got a Gigantamax, even though it didn't. For some reason, I was thinking of Alchemy getting a Gigantamax. Because of the huge-ass cake tower it becomes. Kind of has the same general shape. It's kind of blended together in my head, and I don't know why. I'm weird like that. Weird associations like that. That's on me. Someone on the team really likes Garbodor. For some reason. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I just think it's kind of funny. It's the one Gen 5 Pokemon that can, and it's that one. Nothing from Gens 2, 3, nothing from 4, nothing from 6, nothing from 7, but that single one from 5. I guess technically Melmetal is from Gen 7, but so close to Gen 8, I kind of just lump it in there. I don't know how they officially classify it. I know it's classified as unknown in the Pokedex, because it's a Pokemon Go thing originally, but they put it in Alola for the little anime, so it was Gen 7 technically. But then they also put it as the one non-Gen 1 Pokemon in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. The Melmetal line for that just felt weird. It's like, and that one's kind of bridging the gap. Still Gen 7. Like, Sword and Shield wasn't out yet, but it's like at that point where it's like right before. I just kind of lump it in. It's weird. Melmetal is weird. Meltan and Melmetal are just freaking weird. I don't know how to really feel about them. I will admit, though, the way they revealed them was hilarious. As part of an April Fool's joke, they made a bunch of them spawn, but all of them were actually Ditto. So it was like a little tease of what's to come. That was funny. That was funny. It makes me wonder what'll happen when Pokemon Go eventually shuts down. Like, how are they going to distribute Meltan in the future? It's like the main source of Meltan would be from Pokemon Go, and it can't evolve outside of Pokemon Go for some reason. You have to evolve it there and then transfer if you want Melmetal. So, once Pokemon Go shuts down, then what? It's also a mythical, too, so it'd also be pretty dang rare at that point, wouldn't it? The Meltan line is just weird about how it did things, honestly. It was just kind of weird. It's kind of there. One of those Pokemon for me. I guess it's a mythical. It didn't necessarily have to fit the same rules. It breaks the rules in Pokemon Go, even, because you're not normally supposed to be able to put legendaries or mythicals in gyms to defend them. And the Meltan line's the only exception, and that's a mythical line. It's like, what the hell? Why are you so different? Just add it as a quest line in a game? Eh, maybe. I could see it. I mean, it made sense. Freaking Pekka Run or Pecha Run or whatever the fuck you want to pronounce it like. Considering that got a whole DLC storyline, like, they're not against it anymore. It's not like Pokemon like Zarude where it's, like, distribution event only. It's not like what they've been doing with, like, Mew and Jirachi, where it's like, do you have save data for these past games? Here you go. So, like, they're not just giving them to you. I like the fact there's a little story with it. Because like, some of them used to have stories back in the day, you know? But, like, Celebi, that one had a little something, didn't it? Originally, anyway. So, like, I could see it happening. Maybe when the inevitable Gen 7 remakes come out in, like, 2058. Anyway. Whatever. So give me a specific number. How many megas did I guess right from my list? Not counting the one I apparently seemingly got during last stream without even trying. I want like a percentage of like how well I did. I won't know which ones I got, and I'll still be surprised when I find them in the game. But you know, I figured that I want like a score. See if like, can I do good predictions? Can I predict well? Somebody give me a grade! Okay. It's funny is that prior to Gen 6 was a standard for them to have some sort of story implication, and then they just gave up. They just gave up. Where's the list? What I have on my list: Jinx, Slowking, Skarmory, Toxicroak, Yanmega, Frostlass, Whimsicott, Vanillux, Haxorus, Florges, Heliolisk, Lycanroc, Kommo-o, Phalanx, and Grapploct. Those are the ones from my list, and I apparently said one before that got in. And I don't remember what it was. I'm figuring that the starters for ZA are getting them. Maybe the Gen 6 starters finally get some. But I don't remember any others I specifically mentioned by name. I really don't. Whoops. At least you know. At least you know. So, when I find it and I'm surprised, you can kind of hold me accountable for guessing it, I guess. And just not remembering that I did. Like, whatever. We can count that as an honorary, I suppose. It's like, if you tell me now, I'd be spoiled, and, you know, we don't want that. I'm guessing if I got any, I'm guessing I got 2. Probably no more than that. If I got more than that, I'll be surprised, and then I'll probably do more predictions like that in the future. But, like, you know. I might actually, in my own time, depending on how well I did, I might actually, like, in my own time, extend the list by a few to make a full set. Just to see. I'm giving you time to tally it, don't worry. But I'm willing to bet I did not get that many. Because I had like 15 on the list. I'm guessing I only got like 2. I'd be fine with just getting 2, so keep that in mind. I'm not the kind of guy who does specific predictions that often. I guess it worked out for Kirby Air Riders when I posted general predictions on Twitter. And I went into detail on what copy booths I think would make it in. And I got surprisingly close. I can load that tweet once the sandwich is done. About 10 minutes. So I apparently got really freaking close with it. So I don't know. How many Dudunsparce have I got in this sandwich so far? Just 1, okay. So, my luck definitely took a downturn after the first sandwich, which makes sense. It's happening! It's that downtime that happens on the second day! Uh-oh. This time I brought it on myself, though. This time I brought it upon myself. That's on me. It's all my fault! I did it. I will admit, if I do more specific predictions, that might make the bingo cards a lot more interesting for Nintendo Directs. Because I generally go a bit more, like, general with it, to the point where sometimes multiple squares can overlap. I'm thinking that maybe next time I do a general Direct reaction, I go a bit more specific. No? I'm gonna be a bit more brave with it. I'm gonna be a bit more brave. Because I'm probably wrong anyway, so who gives a shit? I will admit, it's still funny how I put Rhythm Heaven on the Switch 2 Direct thing. And I got that one. And I also put Tomodachi Life in there just for the memes because people won't shut up about it. And that was also... That wasn't even Switch 2 Direct, I think. I think it was the OG Switch Final Direct thing like a week before, and I got both of those. One of them was just from a freaking hope from me, and the other one was just from memes, and I got it. And that was a general thing. 3.5. I got a half guess. How the hell does a half guess work? Because I guessed Pokemon species. How do I get half a species? How the hell does that work? I'm not quite sure I understand how that works. I have an idea of what the half might be. I think it might just be because it's not really a mega, but something new for it's being introduced. That would be the flow up. I don't know. I don't know why else I'd get a half mark. But getting 3, though, out of this list, is actually kind of incredible. And that's assuming the leaked list is the final list, which I wouldn't see no reason why it wouldn't be, but okay. Sweet, I'll take it. I'll take it. Better than I thought I did. I thought I only would get like 2. I guess I'm somewhat alright at predictions. Let's do a funky one with the megas. A funky one with the megas? The only thing I could think of where things might get funky is that they're adding new Pokemon as, like, divergent evolutions. So one of the Pokemon I mentioned here, and that got a Mega. I don't know how else it would be awkward like that. I don't know how else it would be funky. I'm not quite sure I get it. But I guess we'll find out in a couple months when I actually get the game. we can find out for ourselves. And when I find out, it's gonna be freaking crazy. I'm gonna save this list. I'm gonna refer back to it when we find the different megas, and I'll mark them off as I find them. And it's gonna be fucking hilarious. Just to see how close I got. I want to know, outside of this list, you actually got at least 2 more. And I'm assuming we're not counting the starters in this. So outside the list, just mentioning them probably last stream, I got 2 other ones. But I forgot which ones I mentioned. But I apparently said 2 other ones that I did not predict in the main list. Which is weird. Unless you're counting, like, the offshoots I said this stream with, like, Starmie, but... Again, don't tell me if I got that one right. That was like a side guess because someone else was wanting that, and I brought it up. That wasn't on my list. That wasn't on my list. I think I brought up Excadrill before. And I was thinking, like, that Pokemon's already good. It doesn't need a Mega. Though the typing... No, the typing would overlap. So it wouldn't be a different typing. And it doesn't need the Mega because it's already good already. So I think I just discounted that one as being an option. I don't know what other Pokemon I referenced. I don't know. The fact that there was one I got half right intrigues me. I'm still thinking it might have something to do with that Floette. But I don't wanna make you say anything. I don't want you to spoil me, but okay. That's the only one where I can think of where I could maybe get it half right, because the other ones, it either gets it or it doesn't. I don't know why it would not be like that. It's either that or a Pokemon I mentioned gets a proper evolution and then that can Mega. But I don't think that's a thing that's gonna happen. Maybe a regional form, but they haven't shown off any of those yet, have they? I don't think we're gonna get regional forms. If we did, that'd be interesting. Then maybe one of those could mega, but I don't know how to get halfway. There's something funky with one of them. One of the Pokemon I guessed. I'm focusing on that way too much. I'm not gonna get the answer for months. Unless they just happen to reveal it at some point within the next 2 months, I wouldn't know. It depends on how much they're willing to reveal, you know? I don't know. Hey, if they're gonna get weird with it, I'm on board. I'm on board. Yeah, 3.5. Not bad. I might actually, in my own time, just fill in enough to make a set of, like, 25. And then run through all those to see if I get any more from that list. But it's not something they were early, so it's either something really crazy or it's story relevant. Which, again, makes me think it has something to do with the Floette, but don't say anything. It would be kind of funny if there's like a mega Floette. But, I don't know. Just that one specific form can do it. Alright, that's a sandwich done. Only one shiny from that. So after that first sandwich, the luck kind of just burned out. But I'm fine with that. It was like 3, then 2, then 1, I think. So that might be a good time to call it anyway. We're around 2 hours. I could stall. I did last time for 15 solid minutes. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see which ones I got right. And I'm honestly kind of happy with it. I'm happy I did as well as I did. So, nature guesses on this last Dudunsparce. Let's go with... I don't remember most of the natures off the top of my head, so I usually get reminded with ones I saw earlier in the stream. Because there's a whole bunch of natures and I forget most of them. Let's go Bashful on this one. Annihilate. Quirky. Okay. Just like that one, like 0.5 guess I got right. Okay. Alright. Let's evolve you. My last Dudunsparce of the day. And for probably around a month or so. Number 56. 2-7. Okay. Alright. Some of the things you've said have made me laugh my ass off with how close you've been at various points throughout stream. Ooh. So I've mentioned stuff probably like associated with my list maybe that made you laugh and were surprisingly close to how they're doing it. For some reason, that's making me think that Phalanx got in, and it's not because it's an army or like a pile of like different like Phalanx bodies or something, but like it's just some weird thing with it. But like I don't want to go to any conclusions. I'm not gonna know for like 2 months unless they show something off. But hey, I was also kind of just putting in dumb shit half the time. So like, you never know. You never know. Who knows? We could actually get Mega Yon Mega. It would just be stupid. I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them. Would you? Anyway, with that, we've basically hit 2 hours. No need to really stall on this one, because I think I stalled plenty with just the random conversations and the mega bullshit. So, yeah. I think next week we're just go straight into Oracle of Seasons. About a month of that, finish off Craig's story. Some of the dumb shit was correct. Oh boy. That makes me excited. That makes me really excited for this. Okay. I'm liking this. Okay. So, with that though, on that note, that's gonna be it for stream. Next week, we start Oracle of Seasons. That'll take around a month probably, like the last one. And then probably after that we go right back to Dudunsparce, and by then we'll probably have talked about it, but we'll probably get another thing talking about Legends ZA or the reveal. If they do anymore, because I'm trying to think. Because we got the Victory Bell thing yesterday. How long ago was Dragonite? Was that like 2 weeks ago? So if they keep up this pace, we might get one more mega reveal before launch. And it might be something on my list. Who knows? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm excited to find out because, like, if you're saying some of my dumb guesses, some of the dumb bullshit I just put in here for fun, not really thinking anything of it, if you're saying some of those got picked, holy shit. It's so funny hearing some of these being, yeah, I didn't know what else to put. And in some cases, it was correct. That is so stupid. And I'll just put a little shot in the dark. Ding, ding, ding. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. This is gonna be so stupid. Oh, I'm gonna love this. Okay. Okay. I think in my own time, I will make a full list. I will add another 10 to make it like a nice round, I guess, 25, I think. So I think I put 15 on here. So that way we have like a general estimate of the full set. And then we're going to go over it again and see if I got any more. I'm willing to bet I might get like one more, because I got a couple of mine I think could be potential. But the odds of them are probably pretty low. And for some reason, a lot of them are from Gen 5 that are going through my head right now. So I could do a bingo card. You're right. I could do a bingo. Ooh. That sounds like fun, actually. I definitely have not got enough right now to get a bingo. Unless, how the hell would I mark a half? With the... I can't know what the half is going to be until they show it. So I could make it the free space, I guess. How about this? I make a set of 25, and if one of the ones on my list gets shown off, that gets to be the free space. How about that? That sounds like it could be fun. That sounds like it could be really fun. Like a mega Pokemon bingo that goes across the whole playthrough. That's gonna be great. That's gonna be so great. I'm gonna love this. Thank you so much for that idea. For some reason, that never crossed my mind. That didn't cross my mind at all. Okay, well, I guess I can go ahead and get started on that then. It gives me something to do for the next few days. As if it'll take that long to just put some random Pokemon in a chart. So, I think I'll make that bingo card, and I'll probably put it on the community tab if I remember. And then, as we fill them in, I'll just update that. It'd be funny. I'll even make a little edit to make like a special token for it too. Like I have like a Mario emblem graphic that I was going to use, like the Mario 3D World roguelike idea I had that I never did anything with as of now. I edited that to put the Switch logo in for the Switch 1 Direct, I think. So I could just do something like that and put like a Pikachu or the ZA or something in there, The mega symbol. That'd be perfect. The mega symbol for an emblem. That'd be so good. Ooh, I can see the potential of this idea, and you are getting full credit for it, my friend. So yeah, that's gonna be it for stream. I have once again installed for way too long, and I wasn't even meaning to this time. We're just gonna go ahead and just wave to sign off. Back where we started. Yeah, next Thursday, assuming that the schedule does not change, we'll start The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons and continue the story with Craig. And then, that takes a month. After that, probably more of this from there. So if you want more of this, you're not going to see it until, let's see. I do a general guess. If we do 4 weeks, yeah, late September would probably be the next time we see this. Assuming that Oracle of Seasons takes as long as Oracle of Ages did. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. That's it from me for tonight. I'll see you guys next week.